Welcome to Bearbackers. Had a great Hall of Fame week last week. Thank you to everybody that attended and those of you that made it happen. I know we have several coaches in the room and several former coaches, so happy National Coaches Day. Let's give them a hand. Start off with golf. Both teams are on the course right now. Men are playing in the Bubba Barnett Intercollegiate in Jonesboro. The women's team is playing in the Maryland Smith Sunflower Invitational in Lawrence, Kansas. Both teams will be playing 36 holes today, 18 more tomorrow. I'll get an update about those tournaments next week. Let's start off today with women's soccer. Women's soccer had 2 home matches last week. The Bears played a challenging match with first place Lipscomb on Thursday night. Lipscomb got the result 2-1. Megan Mowdy scored our goal, and Hannah Hargrave made 7 saves in the match. And then on Sunday, we drew with Austin Peay. Kayla Hurley got the Bears on the board first with an assist for Mowdy. Sophia Backstrom scored in the second half, assisted by Ashlyn May and Trace Pavat. A.K. Harrell made 4 saves in goal. And a bit of a quirk in the ASUN scheduling, the Bears will play Austin Peay again this next week on Thursday, and then Lipscomb on Sunday. Both of those games will be on the road. Now let's hear from head coach Derek Nichols.
Good afternoon. So a couple games last week that kind of, unfortunately, a little bit more of the same. We're again competed really well against Lipscomb, who hadn't even given up a goal in conference yet until we got them, and so they went up 1-0 on us. We got it back to 1-1. We're really excited about kind of what we were doing in the match there, and then unfortunately they got one on a corner kick late that took it from us. So tough one there, but a very good team. So and then went into the match on Sunday that we knew with Austin Peay that was going to be one that we could control from start to finish. Thought we did that. We talked about getting off to a fast start, and we did that. We scored within first 2 minutes of the match, and so that was good to see that. We kind of had the momentum, we were really rolling, and then unfortunately we had a scoreboard issue, and so we had a little delay in it that took 5-10 minutes, and then when we came back from that break, we kind of lost a little bit of the momentum that we had. They ended up getting it back to 1-1. We took the lead again to go up 2-1, and then unfortunately late in that one, we gave up another goal in another corner. That ended up tying the match. So one we thought that definitely got away from us that we could have got a result in. Now, like Coach said, moving forward, interesting how the conference set up this year. So they just reversed the schedule. So we're playing a team Thursday that we literally just played, and so that's a first for us to play somebody back-to-back like that. So we've got some things in the works that we're looking at, kind of tweaking a little bit so they don't see the exact same thing they just saw. I think the group is real excited, real motivated. That we talked about after the match about how every one of these teams that we've played, we know we can get, right? So we're able to go back this next time through the schedule, and everybody's eager to have another shot at these teams that we just played the first time through. So start that on Thursday, and then we'll have Lipscomb on Sunday. Again, another tough test on the road there. So looking forward to that road trip. But one of the things that we had going on this weekend that we were real excited about was we had our official visit weekend. And so we had 8 of our 2026s that are committed to us for next year that came in on Friday night. We always put it on a weekend where there's a football game, so they're able to go in and participate in the football game day activities. So we were able to go out to the tailgate, experience that, and then hang out together as a group. And then they're able to watch our game on Sunday. And so that's just an opportunity for them to kind of come in, players that we've had verbally committed to us for a little while, to be able to come in, get to know one another, start building those relationships in that class, and then obviously have a fun weekend together. And so there's a good weekend from that standpoint of that group getting together. And we've already gotten responses back from them about how they love their time that they got to spend together here and can't wait to get back on campus next fall. So looking forward to that group joining us as well. So anyhow, second round of the conference slate coming up for us. So another kind of a new season for us, and we're looking forward to tackling that and seeing what we can do with this back half of the season here. So any questions? Yes.
Not a question, a statement.
Okay.
Those 2 teammates that introduced Holly at the Hall of Fame banquet Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's what I heard.
And that's the first female soccer player we've inducted.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to many more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I actually, they had contacted me about coming out and seeing our soccer facility, our soccer house. And so after I brought our recruits over here to the tailgate, I ran back over and met them over at the soccer house so they could see the transformation from their day when they were here. And so I got to talking with them, and actually they said the two that introduced her, people kept coming up to them and saying how great of a job they did and said they needed to take their show on the road because it sounded like they were really, really good. So, yeah, that's what I said. They did really good. So, and they signed a few autographs after as well, it sounded like. So. Anything else? All right, go Bears.
Yeah, they did a great job. First of the women's soccer players to get into the Hall of Fame, but there's probably quite a few about to come here pretty soon. Been a few that have set some records here not too long ago, so looking forward to that. Men's soccer. Men's soccer moved into first place in the gold division of the ASUN standings. The gold division of the ASUN standings with a 2-1 win yesterday against Bellarmine. That moves them to 1-0-1 in ASUN play. The Knights got a goal early in the game, but after that it was all Bears. Václav Kozina and Devontae Richards both scored amazing goals in the game to secure the win. Nicholas Rahman recorded an assist, and goalkeeper Merritt Cole made 4 saves in the match. The Bears will have just one match this week coming up. It's on Saturday. It's at home. It's at 7 p.m. It's against Lipscomb. Now let's hear from head coach Kyle Segebart.
All right, so guess a couple of things here. One, great match from us on the weekend. Helped us stay undefeated in the conference play. Now take ownership of first within the conference with 4 games still to play. Lipscomb going to be here on the weekend. Always a very difficult game against Lipscomb. They are sitting bottom of the table right now, but they did get their first point over the weekend, getting a draw against Queens at home. It's our alumni match as well, so we'll have alumni out for the game. The boys will be very, very excited about it. We got a result at home last year against Lipscomb that really kind of turned the tide for us in that season. So it'll be another one that we look forward to. Our guys are just really excited about conference play right now. We obviously had a very difficult non-conference schedule to help us prepare and give our players the opportunity to play against the best teams in the country. And now we're reaping the rewards of those games. We're now playing against competition within the conference where we feel a lot more comfortable, even when we're up against some adversity, because this is now 2 games in a row in the conference where we start a goal down and we're able to pull ourselves back into the game. Right, so in the first one, we get a draw on the road at Queens, never an easy one, spoke about before. And then yesterday, coming back, getting the win against a very stingy Bellarmine team who's coming off of some big results recently, and having a lot of confidence. Some players I want to point out. First off, it was great to get Elijah Bishop and Joseph Mwamba back. They've been out now for 4 games with a hamstring injury. So having them come back even with limited time to kind of continue their progress along and manage their load, huge to have those 2 pieces back in the back. That's going to help us a lot going forward. As we pointed out, a couple assists on the day from guys that are growing into the team. Nico Rahman, redshirt junior for us from California, came on, did a really good job, has stayed patient in a role that's always difficult to play sometimes as a teammate, but he's continued to put in work at training, and it shows now with his ability to get an assist on the day and with Václav's goal getting us back in the game. And then another player I'd like to highlight, Kyle Schwartz, hardworking kid from St. Louis, Gallagher kid. Joined our team as we picked him up from an ID camp here on campus. Joined us as a walk-on, redshirted last year, has continued to progress and gotten better. And now he's starting to see his first bit of minutes in the games, and we're excited about what he can bring to us kind of moving forward. We're obviously very senior-led within our team, but having guys like this that are kind of in the background fighting and pushing and continuing to improve is only going to help us as we continue to move forward in the program. And then finally, first assist for Noah Bombali. Noah's a big player from us that we brought in from France this year. He's currently in our English second language course, learning English, learning how to become a student at UCA. It's very, very difficult for him. But his teammates are there supporting him. We've got incredible support from the ESL staff. The IEP program here at UCA is top notch. Cannot speak any higher than what the work that they do there. So yeah, Noah's coming along, got his first assisted Devontae on the goal. So overall, proud of where the team is in terms of being able to fight back from adversity. Now that we're getting some of our senior players back in the defense, we're hoping that we don't concede goals early within the first 5 minutes of games, especially when we, do it to ourselves like we did against Bellarmine. But we're showing that resolve as a team right now that's peaking at the right moment before I get ahead of myself, going into these last 4 games of the conference with our goal of still winning the conference title this year. So excited on all those fronts. Any questions? Great. Thank you so much. Go Bears.
Volleyball. Sugar Bears moved to 4-0 in ASUN play with 2 wins last week. First, they were at home on Wednesday with a big match versus North Alabama here in the Print Center. Sugar Bears won that match 3-1. Lacey Bohannon led the team with 19 kills. Kaylin Kuntz had 38 assists, and Alexis McDaniel had 16 digs. 38 assists sounds really good, but just wait. Then on the weekend, the Sugar Bears traveled down to Jacksonville, Florida to play against North Florida. This one went the distance, 5 games, but the Bears won 3-2. Bohannon led the way again with 17 kills, but this time Kuntz had 50 assists, and Mackenzie Haas added 11 blocks. This week, the Sugar Bears will have a big one in the Print Center. There's 3 teams that are 4-0 in the ASUN. 2 of them will be in the Print Center on Friday night. That match is set to start at 6 p.m. against Florida Gulf Coast. Let's hear from, and then on Sunday, the Sugar Bears have Stetson. Sorry, don't forget about that one as well. So let's hear from head coach John Newberry.
I was glad to be back from some quick little trip down to Florida. That was a fun one. It's always fun going down to Florida. We enjoy going down there because we've won a good bit of time since our time in the ASUN, but we enjoy going to the beach immediately after the game is over with. Usually it's a 6 p.m. game, and then we just go. It could be 10:30 p.m. We just go to the beach. They go get their toes in the water. That way we can say we went to the beach. But unfortunately, when we went down to Jacksonville, we tried to celebrate the win for about 5 seconds, and we had about 2 hours before our flight departed. And so we had to hurry up and get on our vehicles to get back to the airport. So it was a quick trip. But our North Alabama game, it's always a tough match with those guys, and should have been a sweep in our opinion, but kind of let a few points out on the floor. Moving forward, this trip to North Florida, just a great program. They've got incredible athletes, lots of versatile things. They have yet to be in the exact same lineup their whole entire season. We played 5 sets, and they had 5 different lineups for all 5 sets. So very difficult. They played 16 players for that one game, and we played 8. And so it's very difficult to try and scout and figure things out. It keeps us out of rhythm, and they did the whole entire time. Matter of fact, if you go back and watch the game on ESPN, it was 14-13, and Grayson Button went up to go block. The ball hit just off the side of her wrist, trickled down the net a little bit, dropped on the ground, and then all of a sudden the referees awarded the point to the other team, which made it 15-13 for them to win the 5th set. And we were like, not so fast. That looked like it was in. We called a challenge, and we ended up winning the challenge. Turned out the ball landed on the line, and so all those lights flickering and all the celebration from the crowd, all 1,500 people, it was nice to be able to shut them up for a second. That was awesome. And so went back out on the court, got to replay it, ended up getting up to 16, and then anyway, just a scramble play. We ended up winning the 5th set 18-16. And the crowd not saying anything and us celebrating with all 3 fans of ours. absolutely incredible. So yeah, the Coons family was there, and then Lacey's dad was there. That was our 3 fans, and they still needed a pass list to get them into the. It's 3 people. Just let them in the door. It's crazy. So, anyways, but we had a great time. Really, really proud of these young ladies. Lacey continues to get better and better throughout the season. Health-wise, we thought we had a scare a couple weeks ago, losing our right side, Vivian Spradlin, who's played in some big-time matches, but a freshman from Bryant, Arkansas. Thought she had an ACL tear at the very last point in a practice. Turns out it's just she sprained it really bad. She hyperextended her knee, landing kind of funny. And so we're actually going to be able to get her back, hopefully, within the next week or so, hopefully. But that was a huge thing because we're kind of down to one right side, and it's Gabby Tuiana, who she was here a few weeks ago. But Mackenzie Haas is another name I keep telling you guys about. Redshirt freshman. She's a freshman. She's a 6'4", long freshman. And having 11 blocks in one game is insane. That's like having 3 grand slams in a baseball game. Just very rare thing to do. You don't see it very often, but when you do, it's a magical thing. Anyway, but really, really proud of them. Just continue to impress and hang in there. There's nothing special we're doing. We're just fighting for our lives right now. I have no idea how we're 4-0, but it's just the hard work and the resiliency of the team. I'm really, really, really proud of them. Very proud of this team right now. So, any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Football played Utah Tech on Saturday. Austin Myers made his first start at QB for the Bears, throwing for 223 yards and a touchdown. Landon Chambers continues to be a workhorse, carrying the ball 25 times for 113 yards. That was his third 100-yard game in a row. Chapman McCown scored his first touchdown as a Bear. Wide receiver Terrell Pollard led the way receiving with 78 yards and a touchdown. Kicker Caleb Jones came up big. He scored 11 of the Bears' points, 3 for 3 for field goals, and 2-point afters he made from 28 yards, 39 yards, and 33 yards. And with additional the 1-point conversions on the PATs. On the defensive side of the ball, Ashton Williams had 10 tackles. 5 of those were solos. Bradley Clark had 3 QB hurries and a big sack. And Jacoby McWheeler had 2 tackles for a loss, as well as icing the game with the interception late. The win moves the Bears to 1-1 in UAC games and will travel to Florence, Alabama for a 3 p.m. kickoff this coming Saturday. Another UAC game against University of North Alabama. Now let's hear from head coach Nathan Brown.
Thanks, Jeremy. Good response and great win for our program on Saturday night. It was a total team effort. A lot of individual play that was superior, but more so than anything, we started to play complementary football on Saturday night, and you saw pieces of that 2 weeks ago at Lamar. We just weren't able to have enough time to win the game when it was all said and done. I thought I singled out 2 teams. I talked about it in the press conference after the game. I talked about it to our team post-game. The 2 units to me that stuck out and consistently stuck out to me after watching the film and evaluating and grading the film was, one, our defense. Our defense played winning football on Saturday night. It was great to see those guys go out and really dominate the football game from start to finish. They kept us in the game when we were stalling on offense. They kept us in the game and really just held Utah Tech to 7 points, and that 7 points came on the first drive of the second half. And then the second unit that I kind of penciled in was our field goal unit. I mean, for lack of a better term, they won the game. I mean, they put 11 points on the board, 3 for 3 on field goals. And Caleb Jones doesn't have the biggest leg in the world, but, man, the kid's accurate, and he's very pure. I mean, you can see when the ball comes off his foot, he hits it. He hits it straight. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of hook or slice in his kicks. You know, sometimes kickers can overcompensate one way or another, but the kid is pure and puts it through the uprights. And Again, not a kid will extend out real far, but a kid that you feel very comfortable 40 yards in, he's going to get you points, and that's a big deal in our game. So again, the difference in the game was those two units, in my opinion. When two moments in the game that really stick out to me. One, the first two drives of the second half. We go in 10-10. It's basically a 0-0 football game. All things even going in at halftime. You've got to make quick adjustments. You've got to make things that went well in the first half. You obviously want to continue those things, but you also want to be a good football coach and make adjustments within your 20-minute of halftime with your players and coaches, so that you can give yourself a chance to win in the second half. And so, when you're not playing catch up or you're not holding the lead, you really got to evaluate your game plan. You really got to evaluate what's going to be positive moving forward. I thought we did a great job of that on both sides of the football. First drive, they get the ball. They defer to the second half. They get the ball. They march it down and score pretty fast. And that's one of those. It can take the wind out of your sails pretty quick. In particular, the way the last couple of games have gone. And so you go down 17-10. Offense gets the ball back. I think we've got a touchback on the kick, and we had an opportunity to kind of implement what we adjusted in halftime. We made a few adjustments on the outside with some route concepts with our run game, and we took the ball down and scored in 3 plays to answer it to make it 17-17. Massive answer. It was a bang score on their offense, and it was a bang score on our offense. So now we're back. Okay, we can do this. From then on, our defense got their wits about them, got their feet settled in, and really the rest of the game really put their guys in a tough spot on offense. If you look at the stats, it's kind of hard to believe this, but their quarterback was 0 for 10 on his last 10 passes. And that was the difference in the game. They couldn't complete passes, and that's a testament to, one, our pass rush, getting their quarterback off his mark, but two, also just really good coverage. We were doing a good job mixing zone and man. Thought Coach Williams had a great game plan for a talented Utah Tech team, and that was a big deal. The second instance, I mentioned two, was let's reverse the order. We got the ball on a 4th down quarterback sneak stop, compliment to our interior defensive lineman on that. It's hard to move Bradley Clark when he's trying to go north and south. He did a great job punching that center back and really getting into the quarterback's path to try to sneak for that. They had about a full yard to try to go for it on 4th and 1. We did a great job of wedging in there and really controlling the line of scrimmage. So we got the ball back with a little over 2 minutes left in the game, and we've got a 6-point lead at that point. We're trying to get them to spend their timeouts. That's kind of the philosophy you think as a coach. We got a chance for them to burn their timeouts, so they can't stop the clock if they do get the ball back. We ran it on the first 2 downs. They had their run defense in. They had extra hats around the box. Because of that, the decision was 100% mine to go for a pass and try to win the game on 3rd down. It was a good play call. The God honest truth of the play was the ball came out of Austin's hand, kind of slipped out of Austin's hand in that moment. I don't know if you saw the way it came out, but the ball kind of came out the side of, right-handed quarterback came off his pinky side of his hand. It really just kind of, when you do that, it kind of forces the ball to tail. If he's throwing on top of the ball like he had most of the night, he's going to complete that pass to Ty Durham right there, and we're going to win the game. We're going to be able to take a knee and win the game right there. Unfortunately for us, went right to the guy, and we got him down. So look, you got a decision to make as a defense. They've got a timeout left. They've got the momentum on their side. They need a touchdown. So that's big. As far as having to get in the paint. And I thought our defense did a great job. We go out there, we stop them 3 straight plays. We get a 4th and 10, and they get a holding call. Everybody that was probably watching is like, why is Coach Brown taking the penalty? You want to take that 4th and 10, or do you put them in 3rd and 20? Well, here's the thought process. You back them up. They've got to get a touchdown. You back them up. Maybe they got to play an extra down. That's fine. I felt comfortable about the way our pass rush was getting back there, and I knew their quarterback, he was nursing an ankle. He was really laboring. And so I took the penalty, and it ended up working out because we got them in a 4th and 20 off an interception. So you took a 4th and 10 off the play. You take a 4th and 20 after stopping them on 3rd and 20. So the 4th and 20 play is the one that gets that really was a heartbreaker. You got great coverage. You flush the quarterback. And really, at the end of the day, Jacoby Shell just took a bad angle. Jacoby Shell should have sacked him to end the game right there. And that's no knock on Jacoby because he played his tail off. If you watch number 8 all night, he was a menace in the run game. He was in the backfield a lot. He just took a tough angle there. Quarterback, we had kind of a cat coverage on the back end, so our backs were to the quarterback. So when you do that, you've got to be able to get to him with your rush lanes, and we got out of rush lanes and he scrambled for 22 yards. Okay, well there it goes. All right, it's 1st and 10. Man, you just gave up 4th and 20. It's pretty easy to get down on yourself. It's easy as a coach to get down. It's definitely easy as an 18 to 22-year-old. But our guys rose up 2 plays later. We flushed the quarterback out. Hit him. Sam Horton gets a good hit on him, flushed him to our sideline, and he threw an errant pass right into Jacoby McQuiller's lap, and he made the play to seal the game. I will say this. I said this after the game. Utah Tech is one of the more well-coached teams in our conference. It's evident by the way that they played to this point to playing us and some of the competition that they played against. Been very competitive in every game they played. Have not played an easy schedule. Similar to us. I mean, we played, I guess at this point, 3 top 25 FCS teams and 1 top 10 FBS team. They played 4 top 25 FCS teams as well. So they played some competition and played tough in those games. So we knew it was going to be difficult. That team is a better Utah Tech team than the Utah Tech team that beat us last year. They're better. I mean, they're more talented. They're a year more into their head coach's system. So getting that win was a big one for the Bear football program, and big for our players. What does that win do? Well, it puts us in a tie for second right now in the UAC conference. I mean, look, our non-conference schedule didn't go as planned, and that's unfortunate. And a lot of that's due to some lack of experience and taking our lumps and doing some things that kind of figuring out who we are. But right now we're in the bulk of our conference schedule, and we're sitting in a tie for second. We're above 5 or 6 other teams right now. So we're in a good spot, and we've got to build on it. We've got to build on just a tiny bit of success. It's not a bunch of success. It's a little bit of success. We've got to see if we can respond and react in a positive, encouraging, really forward-thinking way. That's going to be important as we turn the page to North Alabama this week. But again, individual effort wrapping up Saturday. Austin Myers made his first career start. Very pleased with the way he played for the most part throughout the night. Kind of the same assessment I had at Lamar. He's 3 or 4 probably reads or plays that could probably extend that game out to a 2-score win, and that's just experience. That's just reps. That's just playing the game more. It's going to continue to come. There's 2 things that can get a quarterback. Here's the 2 things, and I've coached quarterbacks for a long time, and nobody is harder on quarterbacks than I am. I mean, I'm extremely, extremely hard on those kids, and you have to be. They're the program. If you don't have a quarterback, you ain't got nothing. So that's my take on it. But there's 2 things that can get a quarterback. One, over-reliance on the deep ball. Okay, when you've got really talented receivers, we saw that with Braylon early in his career with LaJuan Winningham and Tyler Hudson. You're seeing it a little bit right now with Tyrell Pollard, Arlie Lee, and Malachi Henry. When they can go win one-on-ones, and it doesn't matter what coverage it is, you get reliant upon that. And I think right now Austin at times is getting reliant on that matchup. Okay, so what does that force you to do? Doesn't allow you, doesn't create reading the concept. I've got a good concept called, but you're reliant and you're tunnel visioned on that one-on-one matchup. Second thing is seeing ghost. Sometimes I talk about seeing ghost as a quarterback. You've got to trust your protection. If you get sacked early in the game, you can't. That's one single play. So you've got to trust your pocket. You've got to have good pocket awareness. You've got to take 6, 12-inch steps within the pocket. Don't drift. Put your offensive line in a bad spot. but you can't see ghosts and you can't get overly reliant on those one-on-one coverage matchups. So he's going to grow. He's going to continue to get better. He'll be the first to tell you he's got a long way to go, but you see it's there. It's there. He throws a very catchable ball. He's not fully driving the ball like I want him to yet. He's still playing with a bum foot, and he probably will be playing with a bum foot for probably most of the year. If we can get through this week and get to a bye week, that'll do wonders for that injury for him, just to be able to get off of it and rest it and recover. And our athletic training team has done a phenomenal job with, in particular, Austin, but many of our athletes. When you get into week 7, 8, 9, kind of like what the stretch we're about to get into, I mean, nobody feels good. I mean, it's a physical game. It's a physical sport. And I told our team last night, it's a literal art. It's a literal art to be able to play hurt, play injured. Like, you've got to go somewhere else in your head. That's the way that you see these guys that make X amount of starts in a row, and all these, Brett Favre, I mean, you heard about how many starts he made in a row, and all these people, Tom Brady. I mean, they go somewhere else in their head. Their body doesn't feel good, I can promise. So you've got to be able to go. You've got to be able to gut it out. You've got to be able to get well enough to practice so that you can prepare for Saturdays. And so, we're constantly using the psychological side of things. We're coaching the psychological side as we are the physical side. The mental side is important, because you've got to believe and you got to think that you can do it, and you got to know that you can do it, and you got to know that your body always has more than you think it does. So we're dealing with that right now with several positions. I mean, it's creating some other guys that are going to have to step up. We're going to test our depth as we continue to push through this season. But again, it's an art. There's a form to doing it. And look, I'm not telling the players or you guys anything I don't know. I mean, I made 45 starts in my career. I played hurt a lot. You just got to get through it. It's part of the game, part of what you signed up for. But Austin will get better. He had a good night. Gave us a chance to win, and we did win. He's 1-0 as our starting quarterback. It's great. It's awesome to see. Landon Chambers continues to be special. I mean, he's got 400-yard rushing games on the year. He's got 3 in a row. He's a workhorse. As Jeremy said, he's touched the ball over 60, mid-60s in 2 straight weeks. But his body's built for that. I mentioned that last week. He's got the physical traits that can carry the load. He's going to have to continue to do that. But again, Chapman McCown spelling him a little bit. We should get Cam Young hopefully back this week from a bum knee. He's been out the last 2 weeks. He's a bigger physical back. You saw early in the year, number 27. If we can get him back, that'll help a little bit, just with the physical side of running and doing some of that stuff. I was pleased with our offensive front. Our offensive line and tight ends, I thought, did a great job blocking a very, very sophisticated front. Maybe not the most talented front we'll see, but very well coached. Do a lot of stunting, twisting. They play their gaps well. Their linebackers do a good job scraping. They do a lot of different things that can pose some problems. So I was pleased with that. Defensively, again, I think we got a lot to build on off Saturday. Ashton Williams, big night. Dylan Williams, big night. Thought our corners played well. I thought our pass rush got to the backfield. Maybe didn't result in a ton of sacks, but we were back there. We had their quarterbacks very uncomfortable. We've proven that we can stop the run game. I mean, you're not going to run it inside on us all night. It just doesn't happen. So teams are going to scheme us up. They're going to try to get on the edge of us. They're going to play action passes. We've got to be disciplined with our eyes. But you saw that we've made some growth in that area, definitely going into the Utah Tech game. So as we turn the page to UNA, obviously an old foe that we played for years in the Gulf South Conference, but also a team that we knew well within the Southern Conference and now the UAC Conference. They're going to be coached well. Coach Dearman, have a lot of respect for him as the head football coach. He does a great job as an offensive-minded coach. He's had the same defensive coordinator for the last 3 or 4 years. He does a great job. We've never had an easy matchup with UNA. They always pose problems for us, just some of the things that they do schematically. Very, very sophisticated offense, give you a lot of eye candy, give you some things that can put you in some bad spots with some formations. But then defensively, they're kind of more of an unorthodox defense. They're not going to sit there and line up in a 4-2 front. They're going to mix their fronts up. They're going to mix their coverages up, not afraid to blitz on any down. So we've got to be sharp. We've got to be able to identify, and we've got to be able to communicate. It's going to be crucial on Saturday for us to do that. Again, said this 3 weeks ago. This is the back half of 4 out of 5 on the road. So the next 2 weeks are on the road. We've got a bye week sandwiched in there after this week. But again, this is an important game for us because it'll give us a great taste in our mouth, give us a chance to possibly be 2-1 in the conference play going into the bye week. And then we can catch our breath a little bit. We'll still go to work. We'll still get better. We'll take full advantage of what we can do next week in the bye week. But this is an opportunity for us to really, you split your season basically wherever your bye week, whether it's early, middle, or late. You try to get to that bye week in a positive, with a positive taste in your mouth, and this is an opportunity game to be able to do that. So, looking forward to that. I'm just proud of our men, man. Our men, they keep fighting, they keep working, they don't blink. They've got energy on the sideline. Doesn't matter what's happened to this point. I told y'all, like, we're built for this. Look, we've got those guys in that locker room know what we have and know what we can be. Are we there yet? No. And I'll say it again, like there may be another punch we take at some point, but we're learning how to take those punches and stand back up, and that's what's encouraging. And so I'm excited about the group. I'm excited about the things we can build on from a win. The difference in a win and a loss is one thing. You got to learn from both. One thing, it's your feelings. You feel better. That's it. You feel a little better. You can't mask. A win cannot mask. All a win does is it makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, as bad as a loss feels, a win, I wish a win felt as good on the opposite end of a loss. I mean, it's just almost, a win's almost like relief. It's just a feeling, but you've got to learn from that feeling. Even with that good feeling, you've got to get better. It's easy to go, hey, well, let's just be okay with being okay even though we won. That's not the way it works. You're not going to continue to improve. You're not going to continue to have a chance to beat North Alabama this week if you have that mindset. So it's a crucial week for us. It's a big week for us. We need to learn how to win and win with having a little bit of success, come back and have some more success. And that's what this team hasn't proven yet. We've got 6 chapters down, and we've lost 4 of those chapters. We've won 2 of them, but we've lost 4 of them. So we're going into chapter 7 right now of this book of this season, and we're going to try to do everything in our power to give us an opportunity to go win a big road game in Florence, Alabama on Saturday. It was a tough, emotional week for me personally last week. One, you add on a 3-game losing streak. I told y'all last week that was new territory for me, not something that UCA should ever get used to doing. I know for me personally, I'm not used to it. And then on top of that, I missed probably the first 5 hours of the day on Wednesday. My daughter had pretty serious elbow surgery. And I just want to give credit to my coaching staff for picking up the slack on Wednesday morning. I wasn't going to miss Riley's surgery. She needs her dad there. So I was at Children's Hospital from about 5 a.m. till about 10:30 on Wednesday morning. That's big game prep time. And that was a time where our offensive staff did a good job picking up the slack for those couple hours I was out. So it was just an emotional week. You're coming off losses. You worry about your baby girl, and there's more to life than just football, all those things. So it was an emotional win for me and our program, and it's something we can definitely build on. And I'm excited about what this week holds for our program. I went to church Sunday morning after the game, and I thought the message was great. It was about the story of Joseph and how he was for 22 years in slavery and never complained, and he was anointed by God and he didn't even know it, and he just kept fighting and didn't throw things in people's face once he got power and all those things. And it's just like, man, you know what? Like, things are going to be okay, and you find ways to win, and that win is a good feeling, right? It's a great feeling. But again, it's short-lived. What have you done for me lately? And so our team, our program has to understand that, has to realize that. Don't get it twisted. We celebrate wins. We're excited about wins. I've said it for a long time now that wins are hard to come by in college football. So you enjoy them, but you also treat them as short-lived because North Alabama does not care what happened last week. Matter of fact, they hope Austin hurts, right? They hope his foot hurts. They hope that we're sore. They hope that we practice like crap. They hope that we we feel sorry for ourselves. All those things, right? I mean, it's just the sport. And so when you've got people that don't care and you're competing against, for lack of a better term, another color, an enemy for that weekend, it doesn't matter. It's all about us. And so if we can continue to get better at us, have tunnel vision at us, then we're going to be okay and we're going to continue to grow. So I'm excited about what the back half of this season holds. You can see life. You can see that there's a chance. So looking forward to the opportunity. Again, look forward to, I know not many of y'all make that trip, but definitely tune in. 3 o'clock kick, so that'll be the earliest kick for us to this point in the season. So we'll have to get our clock going a little bit earlier than what we have in the past, or at least the first 6 weeks. But a great chance for us to go win a big game on the road against a talented UNA team. With that being said, we'd love to take any questions. Yes, ma'am.
I'm always asking you that terminology that I probably ought to know what it means, but I hadn't heard it, so I don't know. Last year I asked you about twitchy. Okay. A while ago you said something about more hats at the box or extra hats at the box. What does that mean?
So when I say more hats in the box, so when I talk about the tackle box, so like tackle to tackle or tight end to tackle on each side, if a team's in a run stopping defense, they'll have more than you can block in the box. So essentially they're trying to get an unblocked guy because they know it's a run down or a run situation. The evolution of offensive football has turned into, you've heard the term RPO, run pass option, right? But what happens if you drop a pass or you throw an incompletion, the clock stops. So a lot of times you tend to just call run plays when you're trying to run the clock. You don't want to give the element or the option to the quarterback to throw the ball to the receiver and him drop it or throw a bad ball or ball get tipped or whatever it may be, so the clock continues to run. So when I say extra hats to the box, that just basically means, hey, look, let's say I've got 7 blockers, not counting the quarterback and the running back because they're not in that count. But I've got 7 blockers. I've got 2 tight ends in with 5 offensive linemen. Well, then they'll have 8 guys in the box, right? So between the tackle and tight end, they'll have 8 guys to basically stop the run, is what I mean when I say that. That's a great question, by the way. I appreciate those questions. Awesome. Ron?
I'd like a young Brown report, and I've already apologized to Matt. I have got to go to the dentist. He is speaking at Kiwanis Wednesday at CBC.
Awesome.
Food is good. Anybody wants to come, you're welcome to come and get a free meal as Dr. Fiddler's guest.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. So, Little Brown update. They play tonight. They're undefeated. The Patriots. He's playing good. He's catching touchdowns and making tackles, and he's a little football player. He ought to be. He's out there every day. He sees it every day, what it's supposed to look like, and it's fun to watch him. I get as much joy out of watching my kids do what they do as I do watching my grown kids do what they do. It's a fun life I live. I'll tell you that. But yeah, and then Riley, she had successful surgery on her elbow last week. Basically, she's dealt for basically 2 years with something called OCD elbow. Her basically blood flow couldn't get to the top part of her bone where her elbow connects to her forearm. So she's been dealing with that, and we knew this was maybe something that would have to happen at some point, but we kind of prayed and wanted to, kind of go the more conservative route. And unfortunately for her, she went down to dig a volleyball a couple weeks ago in a game and kind of landed on her elbow, and it flared up on her. Anyways, she had some bone chips that had chipped off from the dead bone, and that bone growth just wasn't growing back, and it wasn't getting any blood flow to it. So Children's Hospital went in and took a piece of her bone from her right knee and cartilage from her right knee, cut into her, unfortunately, her good knee. I mean, her good knee. And basically transplanted that bone and cartilage, cleaned out the elbow. They took out 3 pieces of bone in her elbow, all of them close to 1 centimeter in size. I mean, it's pretty amazing. She was able to play and be active the way she was. She's tough. She's a lot tougher than me or mom, I promise you that. But she had successful surgery, so they went in and transplanted that into her elbow. So, if you saw her, she's fighting through. She came to the game. She's got She had serious knee surgery and elbow surgery all at one time, about a 3-hour surgery on Wednesday morning. So y'all keep her in y'all's prayers. She's got a long road ahead of her, but she's a tough little girl, and so it's awesome. But thankful for the win, thankful for you guys, thankful for the crowd. Obviously, being Hall of Fame weekend, had a chance. Huff Sticker was there with I believe it was the 76 crew. On Friday night, Matt and I went over there and visited with those guys. I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool. I told that group on Friday night, you're gonna see less and less of those reunions. I mean, it's just the pride in the game is just, unfortunately, in the sport you play and the colors you wear, it isn't as thick as it used to be. So when you get a chance to speak to a group like that, man, they're talking about the old times and the good plays and the bad plays and the coaching and all that. It's pretty neat to see. It's actually an honor to be able to go speak to former Bears and alums because obviously I am one, and so I can appreciate that. And this is actually the 20-year reunion of the 2005 team that has won as many games as anybody in the program, 11 games. I was a starting quarterback on that team, so you appreciate those moments, and obviously this place means a lot to a lot of people, and you see that when you see alums and former Letterman get together. So Hall of Fame weekend was a success, I assume, and obviously introducing a new group to that. That fraternity was really neat on Saturday, and just blessed to get a win to cap the weekend off. So.
Coach, there's not a lot to do in Florence, Alabama, so to close the town down and support that thing, it's a tough place.
It's a very tough place to play, and I'll tell you, it's a unique setting. You play in a city stadium. Most schools we go against these days have an on-campus stadium, and I know North Alabama's working on one. I think maybe next year they'll be in it. But yeah, there's a lot of history over there. I mean, if you look, you walk into that stadium and you see national championships. You think about the D2 days of what they were. That's a tough place to play. Tough place to play, and they're in a great spot for recruiting. I mean, Florence, Alabama. They could probably draw a 100-mile radius circle around that campus and probably feel about their whole team with the talent they've got around them. So Coach Dearman does a good job there. He recruits the heck out of Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia. That's a good spot. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult trip, and really any road trip's difficult. But in particular, UNA's always been a tough spot for the Bears. I mean, you can go years and years ago. So we know the challenge. We're excited about the challenge. Again, we need to find a way. If we can find a way and get this thing on the plus end and get 2-1, going into a little bit of a breather of a bye week, you got to like our chances on the back half of the season. Awesome. I'm going to turn it over to Matt. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is great to see everyone here. Bobby, I'm so glad you mentioned about the women's soccer video at the Hall of Fame. I joked with Amanda Mulhern after. I said, I think we're going to hire you to do every single one of them moving forward. So, but they did a phenomenal job. And I'll tell you what, Hall of Fame weekend, great weekend. I want to say thank you to all those that were able to come out for the induction brunch on Saturday. Obviously be here at the game, all those things. It was a fun weekend. Great to see so many people from different eras on campus. So appreciate your support of that. I want to go a little off script here and I want to introduce A.J. Allen. And A.J., I hope you're not embarrassed by me doing this, but A.J. is an intern in our development office on campus, but she got engaged last Monday on the football field to So A.J.'s fiance is offensive lineman Jamal Mole. So A.J., congratulations to you guys. Absolutely. Jamal came to see me and he said, Matt, I hear I got to ask you if I can do this and want to put a message on the video board. And I said, well, what do you want to put up there, Jamal? And he said, will you marry me? And I said, absolutely. We can work with you on that. So last Monday prior to Bearbackers, AJ and Jamal were. That's right. Yeah, Morgan Camp, development office, was also involved in that and had a little surprise for AJ, and they got engaged Monday prior to Bearbackers. So congratulations. All right. Just looking ahead to next week, October 13th, Bearbackers, we will have in here again. However, Coach Brown will be at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, so we'll have a few extra guests from the football staff in here. But again, we'll be in here with our normal Bearbackers hour. Coach Brown will just not be here. We've talked about the upcoming week. We've got volleyball at home Friday and Sunday, men's soccer Saturday at home, so excited about that. Hope you have a chance to come out and watch our teams compete, and looking forward to that. So with that, I will be happy to take any questions from anybody. I think Justin McCarty's got a good one for me back there. Okay. Text me that question. Okay.
Happy Coaches Day.
Yeah. Happy National Coaches Day. We have some great coaches here at UCA, and appreciate several that are in the room here today. But we've got a post out and some great photos of our head coaches, and just appreciate what they do and how they represent our program. So, yes, Erod, I appreciate you reminding me of that. Happy National Coaches Day. All right. What about any other questions? Well, let's have a great week. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears. Bear claws up.